Hi everyone, here's the Bookchemist once again, and today I'm reviewing The Light Fantastic, the second novel in Terry Pratchett's world-famous Discworld series, which was a very weird reading experience for me. I read the first volume in the series, The Color of Magic, several years ago, and I know that most of the volumes in this series, most books in this series, tend to be rather self-conclusive. I mean, you can theoretically read them by themselves, but I also knew that these first two volumes are kind of in a strict relationship. The Light Fantastic is kind of a sequel to The Color of Magic, and I also knew, I'd been told, that the series, in general, the Discworld series only really started to get really good starting from the third volume, from Equal Rights. So why was it a weird experience? Mostly because I loved The Light Fantastic. It was such an amazing reading experience and I didn't expect it to be so good. I mean, The Color of Magic, don't get me wrong, I liked it, I did like it a lot. I thought it was an extremely good satire of the fantasy genre and of, you know, a few political and social issues too, but I kind of thought, no matter how lovely the characters were, no matter how fun the whole thing was, I did get the feeling that there wasn't too much to the book besides its humor, and in that sense too, I had to admit that it seemed to me a little bit too heavily influenced by the kind of humor you find in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. It seemed to me like it wasn't so, not really a rip-off, but really an imitation, a fantasy alternative of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is, of course, a seminal science fiction comic novel. Light Fantastic, completely different thing. I love this book so much. I found the plot really interesting and really gripping, and don't get me wrong, there's lots of satire and humor in here too. There's really a joke in each paragraph in this book, and they are all extremely good, and at times you really laugh out loud, and at times you just have to reread a joke a couple of times because you're kind of shocked by how good and how subtle the humor is, or by how fun the Terry Pratchett can really be while still carrying the plot forward. He is masterful at, you know, foreshadowing events that are maybe going to happen in a few pages and at keeping you interested all throughout the whole thing. In general, I found it an amazing novel. I mean, if you strip all of the humor from The Light Fantastic, I think it still is a great book. And again, keep in mind that the humor is everywhere in this novel. I think lots of that has to do with the fact that The Light Fantastic, unlike The Color of Magic, is a much more homogeneous type of narrative. The Color of Magic is not really a short story collection, but could really be read as one. It was divided in several episodes, and each of those was self-conclusive. Each of those could be read as an individual story, whereas in The Light Fantastic, even though you have one or two episodes here and there in the plot, it does have a much more, it's one long thing, and the evolution of the plot and of the character throughout it is really and truly satisfying. And of course, some of the character relationships serve the humor of the whole thing, serve a comic purpose, while at the same time offering very good characterization of these people, while at the same time making you feel more and more involved in the life of these heroes, in the life of these wizards and travelers in this fantastical, mythical world. The alchemy between the book's two main characters, Rincewind and Twoflower, this incompetent mage and this naive tourist, is beautiful and awesome. I'm a sucker for, this kind of male couple, male main character couples, Cavalier and Clay, Dante and Virgil in the Divine Comedy. My very easy psychological explanation is that I do not have that many male friends. Most of my friends are women, and I love their whole relationship and their dynamics and the humor in it, and the way what Rincewind at one point defines as their hate-hate relationship. And the ending of this book, again, it was so heartbreaking. I'm not going to spoil it to you, but for a book that, again, has a joke every 3 lines, and has, in general, is a satire of the fantasy genre, and has a plot that is in some ways derivative, but only because it wants to make fun of the whole genre, so it's supposed to be derivative. It's just too good for a book of that sort. The plot and the emotions it stirs in you, they're just too much. This really shouldn't work this well, but it did, and that's why I found it such a weird experience. I'm absolutely sold on Terry Pratchett now. The Color of Magic, now that I think about it, didn't impress me too much, but now I really can't wait to dive deeper into the Discord series. I'll probably be reading Equal Rights, I'm pointing over there because it's on a bookshelf over there, probably in the next few weeks, and I'll let you know about that too. I'm really curious about how the series evolves. I'm not sure whether the characters in here are going to come back or not. We'll see. Also, I did a little research and I found out that probably the reason why these books feel so different is that they came out 3 years, one from the other. Once I become a bit more informed about the whole Discord, I should probably read a bit more about Terry Pratchett and his life and his writing. And let me know about your experience with the Discord series and with the Light Fantastic in particular. If you are on the fence about reading this book, if you're not sure whether you want to start reading the Discord novels, do read the Light Fantastic. It's amazing. You kind of have to read the Color of Magic first, but once you're done with this, do not stop and go straight to the Light Fantastic. Don't wait a few years like I did. I was an idiot. And thank you as always for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.